I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the pledge of flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everyone to the July 6th meeting. We have an approval of the minutes of June 15th. It's been that long since we met.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Financial report and payment of the bills.
So moved.
We have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, let's see. This is the time. I'd like to invite Miss Jean Brummel. Come on down. We're going to bring you up here soon. Come right here in front of everybody so we can swear you in. And I'm going to bring this ink pen. This is going to be worth a lot of money after you sign these today. Okay, come over here if you wish. Could be worth a lot. Come on over here.
All right.
All right, everybody. You can get over this way so I can get that. There you go. All right, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. I want you to raise your right hand, please, Jean. I, Jean A. Brummel,
I, Jean A. Brummel,
do swear that I will support
do swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful
and that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland,
to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Commissioner
execute the office of Commissioner
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
Here, I need you to sign both of these. One more for you. And welcome, we have a seat up there for you.
Thank you very much.
Come on up and say a few words.
I can do it short, sweet.
One of these is yours.
Oh, thank you
Thank you.
very much. Thank you. I do want to thank my colleagues for this amazing opportunity, because I am truly honored to be here. And I can promise all of you that I will do my very best, and that with every decision that I contemplate and every vote that I make, I hope that it's for the enrichment of our town. So I'm proud to be a part of the family, the town of Elkton. And if you don't mind, I'd like to introduce you to my family so you all know who supports me. I have my husband here, John. I am very happy to see my daughter, Jamie, her husband, David, switch married. My beautiful granddaughter, Avery, 8 years old in just a couple weeks, and my new grandson, Luciano. I'm very proud of them, and I'm glad that they're a part of your family now, too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jane. Very good. In fact, Lou, you were on.
Okay, the first item I have, can you hear me?
We got you.
You got to pull a little
Testing
closer.
1, 2.
Pull the mic to you.
This is the bid opening for the project 117 West Main Street parking lot down there, which you know, the board is aware that we had a grant for that project. The first bid I have is from Meadows Construction. The bid is $425,000. Meadows Construction bids $425,000. The second bid is from Sam's Construction LLC in Wilmington, and their bid is $380,000. My recommendation is to reject both bids. They're over three times the cost estimate by our engineer. I don't accept these bids at all. And our grant's only $100,000.
Okay.
So we'll put it out to bid. We'll put it out to bid again, or we'll subcontract the different work. I can save a bundle of money that way. That's what we'll do.
Very good. Any questions, comments with that?
I just have one concern, that we do not lose the grant because of the timing of this. Jean is out there. Did you check on that, Jean?
We'd have to, I just found out, so we'd have to contact the state and let them know that we're going to continue to move forward with it, but we'll break it into smaller pieces, and we have till this time next year to finish some of the
Finish it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
We'll do the electrical work first, probably. That'll eat up most of the $100,000, I
Okay.
think. That's all I had.
Very good. All right. Last week, we had the commissioners and myself and a few of the staff members. We were very fortunate with the chief of police and Detective Sergeant Andy Tour had received the Top Cop honor for the state of Maryland for his work that he did during the double homicide case. So I was very proud to be in the presence of the governor and be awarded that Top Cop for Andrew Tour. I think it was well deserved, and Chief, thank you for being there and supporting him and guiding him along, because we certainly know that sometimes it's the people at the top that can give the guidance. With that, just kind of to recap the MML week that we went to, our main focus, or at least my main focus, and we attended a couple workshops, not necessarily workshops, we had meetings with Ferguson Enterprises, we had a meeting with HD Supply in regards to these smart meters. I think it's, once we start putting all the information together and put it out on quote, it's my goal for all of us to, and everyone in the town, to have an actual smart water meter. And this smart water meter would be networked through the system, where we can react pretty quickly to any water leaks in our town. In fact, we could react if we look at that data immediately. We can also control the residents of each individual meter right here from Town Hall. We could bill all the meters at one time. We could build the meters quarterly. There's a lot of opportunity for us, but we have to make sure the price is right for us to make this happen. They did a pretty good job of selling me on the project when we were there, but they're going to bring the information in, and let's see how it works out for the dollar and cent side of it. The other thing that was very important to me, I think that we need to make a mental note that at MML on Tuesdays, the Tuesday, which is the last day of the exhibits, I believe that we should have all town staff down there. I think that we should have our head of planning, our head of public works, our head of finance, any department head needs to be down there, and they need to walk through these trade shows and booths and collect that data and information. I can tell you from my standpoint, I feel like I know a little bit about everything, but there's information there that didn't mean anything to me. But they're there for a reason, and I'm sure that if the chief could have walked through it, if Dan Hanley could have walked through it, or Steve Repole could have walked through it, I think it would have brought some valuable information back to our town of Elkton. It'll keep us on the cutting edge of technology. So I hope that maybe the board could support that next year as we get close, where they could just drive down for the day, walk through the exhibits, and then come on back that evening. So I hope that we remember that and we can put that on a note. The John, I want to address this. Have you had a chance to review in regards to shirtless?
Yes, I have a memo that I can just give you. I want to wait until, pardon me, y'all get back to me, and then I'll,
Fantastic.
while you were gone, finish up our research on that and have some recommendations.
Very good, that would be great. Thank you. The, across the street, Lou, I saw you sent a letter to, I think it was Friendly Taxi for parking into the municipal parking lot. Have you received any response from them yet?
Yeah, they're not gonna park there, except for their delivery patients for dialysis. I don't have an issue with that.
Yep.
They're not gonna use this for their own base.
Very good, thank you. The other thing that saw an email today on your you've made kind of a recommendation to not move forward with the electrical inspections as a
Monopoly?
as a one source.
Yes, I did recommend it.
And
There's two companies available, Bay Area and American.
okay,
And the contract we currently have with Wickersham, their electrical contractors actually use American for their inspection, third-party inspection. And that's a pretty big contract. It's $1,128,750 contract that we have. So a big chunk of that's going to electrical contract.
so your feeling is that it wouldn't be a good thing for the town of Elkton to lock ourselves into one inspection agency?
Yes.
I'd like for the board to think about that and consider it, and but you know, I think we have to respect our administrator's opinion, but I think that we certainly need to get I'd like to get a little bit more information on it myself also. In the let's see, I'm not gonna talk about fireworks. With that, I'll bypass that. I'd like to, Commissioner Jablonski, you're on.
Okay, well, I am going to talk about fireworks.
All right.
It was a tough day making that decision, but it turned out the fireworks were amazing. If you were there, everybody seems to be talking about the sound because of the clouds or whatever it was. It was just an amazing show. And I have to say, the fireworks company worked very well with us on doing whatever was needed to be done. So I do want to say that. So I do want to congratulate Jean Vermont for being on the board and welcome her back home. I made that remark to her earlier because she was here for a long time and did a lot of good things for the town of Elkton, and I'm looking forward to working with her now to do the same. And I did want to mention one thing about MML, about Andrew Tour receiving the Top Cop Award for the state of Maryland. We were invited to a breakfast with the governor to present this, and I want to commend our chief, Matt Donnelly, because the governor made everyone aware that he received a 58-page application on why he should be top cop, and that is pretty impressive. Of all the things that he's done for the town, and it was really an honor to be there. And so, Chief, I want to thank you as well for sending that information on.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And that's it.
Mr. Viner.
Everything you guys have already said about the Elkton Police Department, I can just go ahead and say I'm proud of Elkton, because being in that meeting made me feel good to be able to not just sit at the table with the top cop and the chief, but to represent Elkton as a whole. So I want to commend the Elkton Police Department in a whole, because I know it took a lot together, all that information together, and even though Detective Tour received that, I know he relied on his fellow employees. So the other thing is Parks and Rec, they're having their basketball camp starting the 11th at the Elkton Middle School, so if you haven't registered your kids, whatever, you still have time. It starts 8:30 till, I'd say 11:30, so they have in the paper 9 to 11:30, but it's really 8:30 to 12. So I'm just bringing that for the Parks and Rec. The other thing is, I enjoyed myself with some conversations with some other people from down in MML. Mr., well, I'm not gonna say names, but anyway, someone from Harford County. We had a really good discussion about some of the issues we're having around town. So I just want to let you know, it's not just Elkton, it's all around, but some of the ideas that were shared back and forth with the different counties and towns, I've really learned a lot from the MML. And Miss Jean, I want to welcome you to the board. I know with your wealth of knowledge, we're going to learn a lot, whether you know it or not. So anyway, and it's good to see your husband out there. And take care.
Mr. Gibbons?
I don't want to be redundant, but I think everything that's said that I have listed, you know, Earl, that man that we was talking to, his name is McHale. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Welcome aboard again, Gene. It's a privilege to work with you again, and I know what we're getting, so that is very good for the town of Elkton. I know there was a lot of indecision about the fireworks yesterday, but I guess it was justified when it was saying that we were going to have them unless there was high wind, lightning, or torrential rain. And there was a lot of people. Matter of fact, I was at the cow pond, and it was just loaded with vehicles there, so I would imagine that a lot of people have certain spots around the town of Elkton that they could see. It was beautiful. The people were very elated with that. We talked about the chief. And Rob, it's a good idea at MML, letting the staff come down on Tuesday, because there's a lot of information that I guess we see, we understand, but it'd be more meaningful if they're there and they know exactly what to see and bring back to us and for the town of Elkton. And with that, Gene, you're on.
I'm on. Well, thank you again for all the kind words. My head's about to break. The fireworks were remarkably beautiful in the rain. It was hard to believe, but they were. Chief, my congratulations to you. I think if it's 58 pages, you actually need to start now working on Top Cop for next year too. I did want to recognize Rob Esmiano. I mean, I just found out that he took the initiative to start painting the gazebo.
Yes.
And I just like that when a citizen can get that so involved. He actually has some, I was kind of hoping you would be here tonight because in talking to him, it sounds like he has some good ideas for it. So I guess you already knew that, but I did not. And I don't want to be the person that announces what he has in store for it. I'm hoping he can come and share it with everybody. And I would, if it's all right with the board, I'd like to schedule a tour with me and Mr. George, where he can take me out. I'd like to have an in-depth tour of the town, so I can come, get up to snuff with a lot of things. So if it's all right with everybody, I'd like to do that, and then also maybe take that day to meet with our department heads and managers. So that's my game plan.
Okay, fantastic.
All right, thank you.
Very good.
I have one more thing.
One more thing.
I'm sorry, and Jean just brought it up. I just received notice yesterday that the town of Elkton, the Elkton Alliance, of course, runs the Main Street program, but we have received national accreditation for our Main Street program again this year. So, and it's people like Rob Masmiano on our board who takes on initiatives to do things to better our town. We're so fortunate to have them. So I just wanted to thank everyone for that.
Very good. This is the time of the meeting. We open up the floor to the public, and if you have anything to say, please come up and sit there at the mic and sign your name in. Seeing none?
Lewis is the next MML, and it's in Charlestown.
2 weeks,
And it's 2 weeks from
Thursday.
Yep, come on up. Name, address, and please sign the paper for us, please.
21st.
My name is Vinny Claviano. I live at 112 South Tartan Drive. And I like to, I've been living in Elkton, even though I got the Bronx accent, but I've been living in Elkton for about 26, 27 years. And my concern is lately I've been seeing, there's a rule in the town of Elkton about the fire pit, you know, like a little fire, they have like you can put on your deck, you burn it with a little kiln. Well, in the past year or two, they've been having open pits in South Point Drive, having fires. And then I talked with the code person, and now they say that you could burn with the little beehive or the fire thing. But can they, is it the same rule as the town and having, they can put that fire thing anywhere on the property or on the deck? That's my question.
Ooh, you're asking, you're probably asking the wrong five, that
I
question.
would think that it's a particular location on the property, but there's the ordinance that against open fires, like burning trash and things of that nature, so we don't really make an issue with people that are having a fire pit to cook, you know, food and everything, because there's those little boogers and everything like that.
Well, I think the fire pit is just an open, you throw wood on it, you gather around the fire. Is that correct?
Yeah, but that constitutes partying. And when you have partying,
That's
it's
correct.
just like on the 4th of July, these kids in 108 South Point Drive, I see open flame. So I did like I was told, which I didn't really want to do, but I called police on emergency.
Yeah.
And then they told me to call, they couldn't handle it, they gotta go 911. I said, you kidding me? I gotta call 911 for this? And I said, the police has got enough to do. But I did call, and then they gave me this, you know, the spiel, and I don't know if they came out or not, but when it rained, they just let it die. It was smoking all over the place. But what I'm saying is, what is with the fire containment? Is it like with the little gel, or you can put wood on it, or do you have it on your deck, or you can put it anywhere on your property?
Well, I'll have to get that clarified for you, but my understanding was that there is no burning in the town of Elkton, actually. It's from my previous experience, but I will find out, we'll have you an answer in the next day.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I can promise that.
And how do you feel about it? I mean, what's your
Well,
concern?
my concern is, I mean, Elkton is trying to, you know, show like having energy, clean air. There's a lot of, you want people to come to Elkton, you don't want people to leave, right? And with the new generation, they're more with the green, and I think that's a deterrent. My opinion, I think it's a deterrent, and we want to make Elkton attractive. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I was just trying to clarify your concerns for that.
Yeah, and especially like today, kids got more asthma, people got lung cancer and all that, and with the smoke and all that stuff, I don't think that's really wise. And plus, to me, I think it's a fire hazard. To me, especially, I can see if you got 3/4 of an acre and you got a farm and nobody around, you can burn all you want. You know, but when you're in the neighborhood, I mean, I came from the Bronx, and we didn't have stuff like that, but you know, we had like block parties and stuff like that. But you know, to have an open, you know, like a little fire pit and to have people there and then burn and not consider other people, I think that's kind of rude.
Thank you.
You welcome.
Thank you. Can we make sure we get a response?
Already got it written down.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the issues we have is that the ordinance is drafted probably before you had open fire pits.
That's
Right.
correct.
And it was basically dealing with open fires and burning trash and everything. And we may have to modify it somewhat to capture the new technologies.
I understand.
Respect to fire.
Anyone else have anything to say tonight? See?
Can I make one comment?
Yes, sir.
It's not a legal thing. I happened to be talking with Rob the other day about something entirely different. And a fellow came walking out, there's 2 or 3 of them. And these guys were, some people in this meeting might think these guys were a little scary. And they came over, the guy introduced himself to Rob, said, I understand you're painting the gazebo, can I help? And I saw them down there later, and they did go over the plan. And I thought, these kinds of projects are kind of cool because it brings maybe some pride in the neighborhood to people that you wouldn't maybe initially think. You know.
Would help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was very good. Rob and I looked at each other and just kind of smiled. Thought, that's very cool.
Very nice.
He put out a large group text message to a lot of his friends, volunteers, anybody wanting to paint. Dan helped him get some supplies, and they went at it. So next is music, and he climbed up the pole, found electric, and it's all, your park association is all aware of everything, so it's all legal.
Don't put illegal.
Is that gazebo in Eder Park, or is it part of the town?
Eder Park.
It's Cedar Park.
Park
See, a lot of people don't realize that.
Where does the town park, or is it all Eder Park?
Do we
I
start
think
with
where the gravel
the
parking lot
gravel
is, the
parking
public
lot, that's
boundary
right.
area.
Yeah.
Because Boy Scouts did that, and I thought it was for the town.
Not the gazebo.
Yeah, the gazebo is Cedar Park.
All right, meeting adjourned.